Hello there, I'm Lyndon Thorpe. Welcome to Mindful Moments, Touch Your Heart Every Day. And I'm here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday to help you to lay down a foundation of mindfulness and to sustain your busy life. Okay, it's really important. And this week we're talking about leadership in our Wednesday event. And Dr. Annika Sorensen will be with us. She's a stress relief expert. And on Friday, we're going to continue on with the inquiry into whether we are competitive or collaborative by nature. This week on Embodied Q&A on Friday, we're going to be looking at the internal view. Last week, we discussed the external ideas, the politics, the world movements, and so on. But now, this week, we're going to look at the body more closely and the inside view of this question, tantalizing question. Yes, also, we are creating a bundle to go with the embodied leadership, which will consist of AI prompts and little practices to try, and so on and so forth. So, lots to look forward to. And today, yes, we need to really think for a moment about leadership. Now, leadership is such a big deal. The corporate world, the business world seems to dominate here, but really, leadership depends on self-leadership. Yeah, I think many of the leaders who are burning out really should not be leaders. They need to, first of all, do some work on themselves so they're leading themselves. Yeah. Again, this is a throwback to the sacrificial thing. The leader sacrifices for others, puts themselves aside, and so on. And this is what happens. The way the hierarchies are set up in companies and corporations, the leaders, give everything they've got. Here in Japan, we've got a big problem with responsibility suicides. I live in Japan, and it's changing a little bit now, but we still have over 2,000 suicides nearly every year, and most of them are responsibility suicides. So this means that someone who gets into a leadership role gives up everything else and utterly devotes themselves to the company entirely. They give up their family, they give up their free time. They have maybe just 3 or 4 days holiday a year. Incredible, really. And they work so hard for their president. And, okay, the company does well, but the leaders don't do so well. There's too much responsibility. Yeah. So when human beings feel this overburdened responsibility, they take their lives. That's the kind of extreme outcome, which is so devastating, really, that a human could be driven to that point. It's such a privilege to be a human being. In this practice, we really celebrate the breath, the spine, and the whole body awareness. And to actually destroy that wittingly is very strange behavior, I think. And it shows that, the being who does that, who takes their own life because they've got too much responsibility, is in some way feeling totally inadequate. Their nervous system is damaged. They've burnt out beyond belief, but they're keeping going. They're too maybe proud to ask for help, too proud to admit they can't go on. And So their vulnerabilities as a human being are being pushed away, being suppressed, and the nervous system is being dulled by this. Um, and maybe there's a sense of shame that their bodies are letting them down, that their bodies and their spirits are letting them down, and so they cling with white knuckles to the limited mind, to the brilliant but limited mind, the mind that calculates, assesses, estimates, summarizes, all of those tools. And so, yeah, it's a very sad state of affairs. And I think many human beings are not able to put themselves first, to put their well being and their health first. It's somehow weak, it seems. So I think, bearing all this in mind, we really ought to start our practice now. I'd like you to reflect on this idea that the body and the spirit come first. Those are our prime operators in the world. And the unlimited mind is a combination of those two things, which is unlimited. It's vast, invisible. We focus our energy on such a tiny part of the scheme of things. The invisible world is vast. The visible world is visible and therefore limited. So much of what we feel and what we know in our gut is invisible. And that, for me, is the most important part of everything. So let's bear that in mind as we start our practice. And please, if you can, sit with a vertical spine, the crown of your head going up into the sky, the base of your spine going down into the seat, your sitting bones going down. And if you're standing, the weight of your body going down through your feet. And just feel that wonderful lengthening of your spine. You don't have to stretch or anything like that. We're going to be using the energy of the mind in a rather unusual way today. And if this is your first time in this session, then you'll be maybe very surprised. Of course, mind energy can be harnessed, relocated, recited. It doesn't have to focus only on all the strategies and tools of the intellectual mind and the visible world. We can take it into the invisible world and we can harness it to do all sorts of things. I'm an Alexander teacher, and Alexander was amazing because he realized the power of the unlimited mind to get inside the body, to get into the muscles, into the joints, to bring heat and light there. And so we're going to be doing that in this practice. Okay, so this is a non-doing practice. You don't have to do anything. So just really spend the next 20-25 minutes being. Just be, nothing to do. Just let me lead the doing. Okay. When you detect the vibration of my bell, please allow your eyelids to soften and fall a little bit. They don't have to close entirely. And if they do, that's not wise because you may get sleepy. So leave a rim of light open, the bottom end of your gaze, and let's begin. Wonderful. Now, it may take a little time for you to transition from the overwhelm of the visible world and the intellectual mind with all its firework displays to the stillness and the rather quiet atmosphere of the inner world, your inner zone. Take your time to transition. Okay. Now, as you come down into the inner zone, which is unique to you, 8 billion people on the planet, each one unique, even identical twins have different DNA. Yeah. You are unique, and therefore you are the supreme ruler of your inner zone. No one else can take control of it. Only you. And so, as you come down into the zone, you may notice two things. The first, your breath. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Don't do anything, don't change anything. Just follow it as you're following my voice. And just notice, are your shoulders tight? Are you holding them high up by your ears? Is your chest tight, throat area, or lower down, perhaps the gut? It's as if you need to let go. Just let go of the patterns of the visible world. Let go of all your external demands, responsibilities, etc. Just let them all go. And as you do, immerse yourself in your breath. It's glorious. Just feel that incredible life-giving rhythm that represents an incredible relationship with planet Earth. Wonderful. Okay, now the second thing you may notice is your tendency to generate words and even images as I speak. But don't worry, you've been trained to do this in the visible world. In the visible world, we need symbols. Words and images are mere symbols. In the invisible world, you don't need them. We get to reality beneath and below all those words and symbols. So just gently resist the temptation or the habit of generating these things and come back to your breath. Okay, let's start stage one. Please channel all the energy of your mind, hot, bright, penetrating, into a laser beam, a single incredible laser beam. This is your unique energy, all of it, mind energy, with no distraction from the visual or the intellectual. Channel it all into this incredible beam. And we're going to slide that laser beam of your uniqueness outside your immediate environment, outside your walls and windows, ceilings and roof. If you're in a vehicle, outside the vehicle, and if you're already outdoors, as far afield as you can. And we're going to start to scan systematically with our laser beam, inch by inch, in the external environment, as far afield as we can, above, below, to the left, to the right, in front, and behind. Scanning meticulously. And we're detecting vibrations, any vibrations, near or far, small or large. When you encounter them, pause, accept unquestionably, and move on. Here in the inner zone, we don't need words and images. Guess what the sound is. We don't need to label it. We just accept it and move on. When you're scanning, you are a tiger in a jungle, moving stealthily through the undergrowth. Any vibration represents either the next meal or some kind of threat. So scan around you with the whole of your body, from the crown of your head right down to the tips of your toes. Every skin pore, every hair follicle. Engage utterly with all your laser beam energy in seeking out vibrations, using the whole of your body. And when you encounter a vibration, pause, accept, and move on. Totally engaged, totally fascinated by detecting vibrations as far afield as you can, knowing that animals and people who live close to the earth use their whole body to detect any vibrations in the environment. And you can do the same. It's an ancient skill. we've forgotten it, but the body has remembered it. So the limited mind forgets and moves on this rushing current of everything new. But the body never forgets ancient things. The body never forgets. So you may feel this is a familiar exercise. Your ancestors did it long before the days of phones and computers and other mental skills. They use their whole bodies to engage in their lives. Wonderful. Let's move to stage 2. Let's redirect that laser beam inside your immediate environment, inside your walls and windows, beneath your ceilings and roof. If you're in a vehicle, inside the vehicle. And if you're outdoors, then create a 30-meter radius around you and scan up to that limit. Scanning meticulously, detecting any vibrations, illuminating any darkness above, up into the sky, up into the corners of your space, below, down into the earth, down into the corners of your floor, boards, beneath your furniture, to the left, to the right, in front, and behind. Scanning with every hair on your head, every skin pore across your whole body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. Engaged utterly in detecting vibrations, in illuminating darkness with your incredible, unique laser beam. And while you do that, or continuing to scan, let me bring your attention to your breath. This is your whole purpose of life. The breath is so precious. It's the only way we can survive. And we are here on planet Earth, the only planet that provides breathable air. And our bodies are so fully evolved that they can effortlessly process the raw oxygen, retaining the nutrients to make us thrive, expelling the unwanted components to protect us. And this goes on 20 to 24,000 times every 24 hours for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, 90 years. Feel incredible gratitude for that breath. Okay, and let's move on now to stage 3. Slide your laser beam, bright, hot, penetrating, inside your body, right down to the tips of your toes. And let's start to scan along the tops of your feet, along the soles of your feet towards the heel, detecting vibration, illuminating any darkness, tightness. Slide your laser beam up into your ankle joints. Make space. Take the heat and light of your mind inside those joints. Soften them, warm them. And then let's start to scan up the lower leg, little by little, systematically, detecting vibrations, illuminating darkness and tightness. And when you encounter something, pause, accept, and move on. Up towards the knee, we encounter the calf muscles. Calf muscles are often hard from bombardment of gravity or from bad posture, tiredness, or whatever. Take the heat and light of your mind into your knees. Soften them. Illuminate those joints. Celebrate that they do a wonderful job. And then we can start to move along or up the thigh, the longest limb of the body, usually. Scanning meticulously, using an ounce of your laser beam energy, fully engaged. Eventually, we come to the torso, and at the bottom of the spine, we can find the base chakra, which is a congregation of nerve endings, and it's a great energy center. It's the center of birth for women, procreation for men, and elimination for all of us. If we don't eliminate toxins that can build up in our system, we die. So this is a really important center. Nearby the base chakra, we find 3 to 5 coccyx bones. These are the remnants of a tail when we were a different kind of mammal. Scan up those, and then we encounter the sacrum. And the sacrum is a spade-shaped bone which helps us to bear weight. Scan up that, and then we start the bone disc pattern of the spine up the back of the body, and the lumbar spine at the base, very chunky bones separated by white cartilage disc to protect your spinal cord, which runs from the brain right down to the base of the spine. Oh, let's climb up the lumbar spine, bone, disc, bone, disc, bone, disc, up behind the intestines, flickering away, digesting your food, bone, disc, and up behind the solar plexus, the center of gravity of the body just below your cage, and the diaphragm, the principal breathing muscle of your body. Up behind the diaphragm, bone, disc, bone, disc. The bones are smaller here as we climb up the spine, and we encounter the rib cage. Inside the rib cage, all the vital organs, but the most magnificent of them all is the heart, pumping away, emitting electromagnetic vibrations 60 times stronger than the brain. This is your true brain. Climb up behind the heart, bone, disc, and then we come to the top part of the chest and the lungs, and they are flickering away 24/7, so you can thrive. Climb up behind the lungs, bone, disc, bone, disc, bone, disc. And eventually we come to the notch on the back of the neck. You can reach up and touch it if you like. And this is the end of the chest spine and the beginning of the neck spine, the cervical spine. Bones are much smaller here. Bone, disc, so on. Go right up to the crown of your head, inside your skull. And right at the crown of the head is the atlas joint. And the atlas joint is where your skull pivots. It's not attached to your spine. It's held in place by muscles of the head, neck, and upper back. And this means the skull has so many orientations, over 10,000, and the face so many expressions. We are master communicators, and the atlas joint allows us to do that. There you have it. You're at the crown of your head. Your lengthened spine is magnificent. You've lengthened it without any effort, no doing, simply using the laser power of your mind. When you detect the vibration of my bell, please allow your eyelids to float open and gaze softly ahead. Wonderful. So how do you feel? Fantastic after 30 minutes? So relieved and open across my chest, and my breath is deepened. And please notice how you feel. Your breath is deeper now, shoulders perhaps softer, arms hanging freely and loosely. You feel grounded, your feet are on the earth, your sitting bones are really sitting with the weight of gravity into your chair, and the spine is emanating vertically up into the sky. And you are feeling, well, this is the best possible state to negotiate and navigate the intellectual, visual world. So stay with these feelings for the rest of your day and come back tomorrow. We'll be meeting again to do a similar practice. Tomorrow we'll focus a little more on the breath. So your whole body awareness, your lengthened spine, and your incredible deepened breath. Wow, you can achieve anything today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow. This is Lyndon Thorpe. Mindful Moments touch your heart every day. Bye.